2 years ago, I decided to branch out of my fighting game comfort zone and decided to do a ranking on Street Fighter. And now that year 2 has just wrapped up with the new character being Elena, I thought we could go back and revisit it and look at 9 more supers that were added to the game. So we're going to be looking at all 27 critical arts and ranking them from the worst to the best.
Fight!
Good morning, afternoon, and evening everyone. Nick here, and welcome back to the channel. With the final character of year 2, Elena, dancing their way into Street Fighter 6, why not do a breakdown and re-rank all of the critical arts, now bumping up to 27 that we're ranking from the worst to the best. And similar to what I did 2 years ago with the launch edition roster, I'm going to be ranking these based on their presentation, flow, how flashy they are, and just how cool I think they are overall. And lastly, similar to the last ranking, I don't think any of these supers are bad, so if there's one that I rank low, I just find it slightly underwhelming and I wish it did a few different things with it. Besides that, all of these are really good. Ranking 27 that I think are very good quality is not an easy task to do. And with that, let's drive Impact our way and rank all 27 of the Street Fighter 6 Year 1 and 2 Update Critical Arts from the worst to the best. Yep, my least favorite super still hasn't changed since 2023 or 2022 if you want to count the beta, this being Guile's Crossfire Double Somersault. It's cool, it implements 2 things he's well known for, being his Sonic Boom and his Somersault Kick. And on paper, it sounds amazing, but in execution, it could have been better. I still think him spiking them into the ground would have been a better end, and I also think some of the framing and cuts, this one just makes it visually confusing. Still, this Crossfire is a misfire.
Time to end this. Fire! Double Somersault!
Another critical art I wish was better is Dhalsim's Merciless Yoga. I do like the opening and framing of it, having Dhalsim strike the opponent with his fiery, stretchy arms. That part is cool, however, it ends pretty bland with the corkscrew head dive cratering them into the ground. I still think the freeze frame looks weird, not only with Dhalsim's face, similar to the expression one would give after the teacher calls on them, and similar to the opponent's face. Like, what is that face for? What kind of expression is that giving? They look less in pain and more uncomfy instead. Still loads better than his previous supers from other Street Fighter games. I guess you could say it is a huge stretch in quality.
Your judgment awaits! On me! Lend me your power!
Our favorite street ninja, Kimberly, dashes in at number 25 with Bushin Ninja Star Cypher. This is a great spin on the Ragnarok super that we've seen in other Capcom games. Instead of using a blade like Falchion, she uses some spray paint instead to do the pain. I do like how it wraps up with a fun Izuna drop at the end, showing off the cool mural. Despite this not really doing anything new in terms of strikes or moves, I do really like the coat of paint to it, no pun intended. And not much else I can really say, it just drops in at 25. I hate to put this one so low, but our first DLC character we're covering is this game's first DLC fighter, Rashid with Altair. No, not the Assassin's Creed guy, but the super taking the opponent airborne inside of a huge tornado. I do like the multiple strikes with the after images being left behind, but I do think the pacing is a bit odd and it feels like there are like 2 different endings going on at the same time. Not something cool like Mike Hagar's super in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 where it does the three-peat. It just looks like they added an extra ending to it. I can't really explain it too well. However, I do really love the splash screen at the end, but a big missed opportunity not making it the camera's POV or something like that. That would have been like an awesome cherry on top. Overall, it's a cool super that doesn't blow.
Last resort! Come here! Here comes Rashid for your viewing pleasure! Hey, oh!
Speaking of airborne supers, number 23 goes to Lily's Raging Typhoon. I've grown on this one over the past 2 years, and I do think it's very cute having her finish the super by losing grip of them in the Mexican Typhoon, which is a nice reference to T-Hawk. And instead of doing some super mega stomp on them to finish it up, she just falls on them, which is just cute. That charm makes it stand out a bunch, falling into the 23rd spot.
Here I go!
Up next is the honorable sumo wrestler E Honda with the final bout. This super is just extremely character fitting, but I feel that's what makes it more special and not so much the attacks. I do think having an element where he actually creates a sumo ring and uses that as a super and having the opponent fall out is really cool, and I also appreciate the ultimate head ram, which is a staple for E Honda. However, I really think the way to sell it the best is with a better impact at the end. Maybe if you like hit them in the head and they headbutt, or if like the splash screen at the end was a bit better. Overall, I still think it's a really good super coming from the sumo champ himself.
Shut it down!
Moving ahead with good vibes only with DJ's Weekend Pleasure at number 21. This critical art feels very referential to his ultra combo in Street Fighter IV, involving 2 moments where his climax beat punches are ending with a massive punch and a pose to the camera, which I think is just solid gold if you ask me. I think it's pretty fun, but I prefer his level 3 honestly, where it includes the punches from his perspective hitting the opponent. Yes, I am a bit biased putting this one high because it's a reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And outside of that, I think this one has some good beats sprinkled in there, but it's not perfect. Definitely one of the more fun arts in this game. Finally entering the top 20 with the glory seeker and jewelry designer Marisa with the Goddess of the Hunt. As mentioned last time, I just love the pacing and the impacts of this one a bunch. Though I do wish it retained the reveal of her in the level 3 super, but I understand why it was removed because of pacing issues. But I do love how it opens with the golden punch just yeeting them to the wall of the stage, then punching them in the face with her other golden fist. I just love the detail a bunch how there's a bright pink heart on their face, standing out a bunch in the splash screen. Like the heart, this one's just lovely. The undying lord proving to the world that fighting game bosses never die, M. Bison. As cool as the character is, I think this could have been a bit better. If you know me personally, you know I'm a sucker for supers or enders where it involves the opponent fighting back. And I really like how they just punch back at him after he does a psycho charge. Instead of deflecting the strike, he just stands on their fist and gives them a cold stare, followed by flipping off them and charging an ultimate psycho crusher, leading to an explosion and a typical Bison taunt. In concept, this sounds like it should be an amazing super, but I wish the punch stood out a little bit better as it's paced too quickly to really see what happened. I also do wish that he slammed into them and hit the wall of the stage instead of cratering in front of them. Overall, I really like this one a bunch, but I think it could have been a bit better with some alterations here and there. Hopefully placing it lower didn't psycho crush your expectations of this video.
Die here. Unlimited Dino Pressure. Show me your worth. I will tame you in due time.
Entering the ring at number 18 is the Russian Red Cyclone himself, Zangief. This wrestler has always made an impact with his grapples, but Bolshoi's Storm Buster may be one of the best ones. Opening up with a lariat, knocking them down to the ground, and then hyping up everyone in the crowd way better than any wrestler could at SummerSlam, he hoists them up and spells out disaster for them by throwing them up and then cratering them into the ground with an almighty screw pile driver, cratering and shaking the entire arena. Great work, Zangief. Now I want to see someone do this in the ring in real life.
My loyal fans, you
We are spinning bird kicking into number 17 with one of my favorite Street Fighter characters, Chun-Li with Soten Ranka. This includes plenty of Chun-Li's staples, the high kicking them to deliver a flurry of punches that would make Donnie Yen happy, following it up with a crouching low, then kicking them right in the gut. Just when you think the super's done with that splash screen, they wonderfully cap it off by having the opponent's face go right into the camera, breaking the fourth wall in a comedic way. This just includes all of these wonderful elements that make it feel unique to Chun-Li, deserving its placement and kicking right in at number 17. The final character of Season 2, Elena, enters the number 16 spot with the Song of the Grasslands. This one is just so magical and it really kicks it up a notch, quite literally. Launching them into the air with a kick, volleying them up again, and causing some grass to grow around her is a very nice visual touch. It keeps going as she does some tricks that would make Ronaldo or Messi turn their heads as she kicks them around with some Eddie Gordo moves. She wraps it up with a nice bounce off her chest, then setting them up in front of her and kicks them right into the camera, leading into an amazing freeze frame with her face smashing into the camera lens. This one is just something really special and highlights how great these critical arts have gotten over the span of 2 years. I know back in the day we loved her track Beats in My Head, but the opponent is currently taking beats to their head with this one. Blanca Ball rolling into the 15th spot is the Man Beast turned adventure guide tour, Blanca. I still think Ground Shave Cannonball is one of the best Blanca supers. Opening with some beastly bites, he launches them airborne with an uppercut. Then he shows them the beast by charging up an electric rolling attack, probably Volt Tackle by Pikachu, to flip back down and roll into them, both electrocuting and shredding them apart. I even love how it ends with him just dashing through the opponent with a really cool explosion and freeze frame. And yes, I still think if they ever did Street Fighter vs Mortal Kombat, this could be his fatality. It's just truly electrifying.
You want the beast? You get the beast!
Altering its placement from 2 years ago is Cammy's Delta Red Assault. Opening with a flurry of spiral arrows and knocking the opponent onto their knees, the opponent's head drops and Cammy appears behind them, delivering them one final kick to their neck, similar to an execution. I still think this is a really cool super, but I really think the level 3 does it so much better, with that reveal that she has and then does an airborne kick instead of just doing it while she's standing behind them. I think the first version, or the level 3, just has a lot more sauce compared to this one. Overall, it's still a solid super that has a lot of kick.
No more games.
Yet another super that moved up a few spots when I ranked these 2 years ago is Juri's Kaisen Dankai Raku. I've appreciated her critical art way more over the years, and I just love how she recreates her Ultra combo from Street Fighter 4, her playable debut. And I love the little taunt at the end, it just adds a lot more character as she kicks their face away. Amazing pacing and a lot of character and charm. Better not get hit with this one from Juri or else trouble is afoot. Wandering in at number 12 is the Wandering Warrior himself, Ryu with the Shin Shoryuken. Hands down, one of the coolest ways to do the Shoryuken. I do love that when he hits them, the music completely alters, and as the opponent's lifted into the air, his body is surging with a bunch of electricity as he uppercuts them as they land on his fist, and you get to see like the outline of their skeleton and their body. And one of my favorite little details at this point is you get to hear the music is also bit crushed in the back along with some weird electrical sound effects. Like it sounds like it's altering the sounds. It's so cool. Then from there he just Shoryukens them and they fly up in the sky with an amazing freeze frame with Ryu's amazing pose and the opponent flying above him. We've seen the Shin Shoryuken for nearly 35 years now, and this is probably the best best way that they've done it. This is a prime example of simple but effective. Our second DLC fighter, Aki, comes in at number 11. Honestly, Claws of Yazi is definitely one of the more interesting ones, and also another one that could easily be a Mortal Kombat fatality. She binds the opponents with a bunch of poisonous chains and then tightens them. She gets all creepy with them, and then she stabs their forehead with one of her claws, sending the poison to rush through their body and then exploding. Man, the explosion is really making me think of Mortal Kombat 3 fatalities all over again. But yeah, that awesome splash screen, all of the creepiness to it, the uniqueness with the chains and poison, really makes it stand out among the roster. Like her sharp claws, it makes its point at 11.
We shall increase the dosage to a fatal degree. Farewell.
We're firing up into the top 10 with SNK's Mai Shiranui's Shiranui Ryu Enbu Arazakura. Just rolls off the tongue. No, I'm not biased at all, and no, I have not been looking at her Shiranubis for too long. I just think this one really kicks ass. She ignites her fans and does a bunch of fan strikes to them, and I even like the effect of it going grayscale. My favorite other detail is with each of the strikes, it makes SNK battle sound effects. It really gives it unique and exclusive feel to Mai. As she performs one of her final strikes across their chest, flames burn out of it. She stands up and the opponent tries to rush at them with all that they have left until she turns around and does a quick elbow strike into their sternum, which causes them to collapse. That splash screen at the end is just quite funny. This one just really wraps up and showcases Mai's flair, the cool weapons and fire, and it's also quite sexy. Guess you can say this one is quite fantastic. Back-to-back mains here, and number 9 is my actual main since the launch of the game or even the beta, being Luke. Pale Rider to this day is still such an amazing critical art, and to this day I think it's my dad's favorite super in this entire game. Running at the opponent and performing a UFC ground and pound, Luke pins them to the ground and sends a flurry of punches to their face. And I do love how it switches to an angle where you see all the punches flying at the opponent's face and they're blocking them all, to which he charges up a giant mega punch as they try to fight back, and he just counters it with a powerful punch to the face, shaking the arena. My favorite little part of this is where the opponent's knocked out, the fist is just right next to Luke's head, and he just shoves it out of the way. Once again, another one that has quite the impact and a lot of character into it. Pale Rider truly packs a punch.
Wrap this up! Not too slow! Just stay!
The French model, judo fighter, and ballet dancer Manon makes her way at number 8. To this day, I still think Parado is still one of the coolest visual supers. Mixing duet style of dancing with judo attacks is a unique idea, and I love how each one of these just has a fun splash screen with wonderful music and la-las. And at the very end of it, I love how she sends them up in the air, winds them up, and spikes them into the ground face first. This super somehow looks very painful, but it's also very elegant at the same time. With Manon's skills in ballet, the opponent better stay on their toes. At number 7, we've got one of two from the Raging Demon himself, Akuma. The first being the updated version of the Raging Demon, or the Shun Gokusatsu. I love how each of the 3D titles have completely reinvented this super and start giving us more hints of what happens during the Raging Demon. And this is probably my favorite way that we actually get to see more of an idea what's going on. The opponent gets pulled into darkness, and as a result are surrounded by several Akuma clones, all of which fly at the opponent and do do some strike in the Raging Demon, all of them collectively piling on top of the opponent before the real Akuma smashes their head into the ground, striking that iconic pose we're all familiar with. Hands down my favorite interpretation of the Shungoku Satsu. Guess you can say this one is very Satsu-fying. Firing up at the number 6 spot was the original holder of the bronze medal, this being Ken Shinryu Reppa. From a framing standpoint and just how well it fits the character, I love this one. Recreating the classic Shinryu Reppa from the arcade era, starting off with 2 Shoryukens, and then sending them airborne with a Shinryuken. But with his opposite fist, he spikes them down into the ground with an awesome freeze frame and then cratering them into the floor. I even love how he ends it by saying, "Sit down and shut up." It just feels so Ken. Now, I love this one a lot, and it's also crazy that it's already jumped down so many placements. That just shows that the next 5 that we are looking at are truly amazing and masterclass for this game. But I guess you can say at the end of this super, the opponents had Kenuff.
All or nothing! Sit down and shut up!
At number 5, we are looking at our second Psycho-based character, this being Ed. Punching the opponent in the chest with Psycho power, they get tied up by their hands and their legs, and then he treats them like a punching bag. Hitting them with a few fierce hits, he uppercuts the opponent, sending them upward, and probably the coolest way to wrap this up, he throws another Psycho whip at them, grabbing them and recalling them back to him quickly. As they fly back at him with a lot of momentum, he spikes them down into the ground, creating an awesome freeze frame. This one just has so much impact and it also feels a lot like Ed. I also love the aspect of the punching bag element there, just really makes him stand out a bunch. Yet another one that truly packs a punch. The original runner-up goes to the final boss of Street Fighter 6, JP with Interdiction. Yet another one that could easily be a Mortal Kombat fatality. He shows them no mercy by choking them and coursing Psycho Power energy into the opponent, shown off in a very creepy way. He follows up with a Triglob, skewering his victim with several spikes that raise them into the air, and then he detonates it with a charge, ending with an amazing freeze frame. The color splash looks amazing too. I really like how red and black really pop in this one. And of the energy-based supers in this game, this has to be one of the coolest ones we've seen. Unfortunately, after 2 years later, he's been outclassed by a couple of DLC characters.
You printed meaningless efforts to action!
The original winner back in the launch roster edition of this video, now getting the bronze medal, this being Jamie's Getsuga Saiho. This super is a wonderful tribute to Chinese films, with Jamie having the opponent engage in a two-way show training exercise. It's cool to see the opponent try to fight back as he tries to strike Jamie, which is easily countered, and then he does a bunch of flurries of attacks. The one that makes this one stand out so much, and what makes this one look so painful, is that he wraps this one up with a pincer finger on the opponent's throat, a pressure point that's meant to stop the opponent from breathing for a little bit. I even like how the splash screen at the end is also different too, translating to end of movie. There's a lot of awesome nuances with this one, it has so much character, and it's just so fun to watch. I've said it before and I'll say it again, this one's truly breathtaking.
This is our destiny. My secret art gets God.
Our new runner-up goes to one of my YouTube friend Ayame's favorite characters, Terry Bogard. His super, Rising Fang, is definitely amazing. This sees Terry hit the opponent with a rising tackle, then as he descends, he uses a power geyser to launch himself, using the opponent to fly at the opponent, Air Buster Wolf. This uses so many of Terry's iconic super moves, and just makes for a kick-ass super. Like, holy hell, they really cooked with this one and treated Terry so good, bringing him into a Capcom Capcom fighter. Rising Fang is just so awesome. Now, let's hope we can get more cool stuff like this if we ever get CVS 3. Come on, Capcom SNK, please?
You're good. I'll give you that.
Yeah, you all probably saw this one coming, but number 1 goes to Akuma's second super move, the Sip of Calamity. You know that I'm a sucker when super moves involve the opponent fighting back, and this is just a prime example of that one. Not only is it just cool to showcase the opponent fighting back, but it just shows how strong Akuma really is. Akuma just slams the opponent down into the ground by the head and stomping them, holding him in place. Yeah, that dude can shatter islands. There's no way that that person's moving. Following that, he tries to punch the opponent's forehead, but their might is just too much as both of their hands barely hold it back. And similar to Thanos messing with Captain America in Infinity War by holding off the punch, Akuma opens his hand and reveals a Satsui no Hado ki, to which he then fires it point blank right in their face. Like, holy hell, he's so ruthless, but this is so awesome. Oh my god. Yep, the first time I saw this one, I knew it was something truly special, and it deserves the top spot. Not only is it just paced really cool, not only does it really stand out, it's shot well, and it just feels like Akuma. Please, I hope we get more kick-ass supers like this in year 3. As for right now, Akuma's Sip of Calamity is the best critical art in Street Fighter 6.
Yes! This is the battle I hunger for!
And there you have my updated ranking of every critical art from Street Fighter 6, ranked from worst to best. Which one was your favorite and which one was your least favorite? Let's have a fun discussion in the comment section down below and talk about it. Again, my list is not the definitive list, it's just my ranking, and I'd love to see where you guys are coming from down below. I just thought that this would have been a fun video to get out there because year 2 had just wrapped up, and it probably seems like we'll get a year 3 announcement at the Summer Games Fest. I don't know. And I'd like to talk more about Street Fighter news, and with the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, love to do more fighting game news overall. If that's something you'd like to see, please let me know. And speaking of mentioning other fighting games, more varied rankings will be coming to the channel. As I had mentioned beforehand, I am going to be doing all costumes ranked covering other fighting game characters. I just kind of been super busy lately, so sorry for the delay. Rain and I are still going to be reacting to fatalities from other Mortal Kombat games. We're going to sit down and do MKX fairly soon, so stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and share. Your support truly means a ton, and I can't thank you all enough. Seriously, you guys are the reason I still do content to this day, and I just love doing this stuff for you guys. As always, thank you so much for your continuous support. My name is Nick, and have a wonderful rest of your day. See ya!